analysis, because you've given it to us.
Thank you.
Many times. I think the questions are, wasn't it your burden that you carried us into a war knowing that there had been no effective preparation?
It is so comforting to people to say there was an error made in the planning. Someone didn't spot what was going to go on. And you can have this argument about de-Baathification, the disbandment of the army, and I'm happy to go through that with you. But in reality, even if you've taken different decisions on those things, that is not what has created the problem. What has created the problem is that the people we're fighting have decided to give us a problem. What they have decided is that if they can hang on long enough in Iraq or in Afghanistan or anywhere else, then we will lose the will. And that's their argument. That's what they're doing.
You know, in the dark watches of the night, is there never this regret? Do these thousands of people who've now died as a result of your decision, do they never come back to haunt you, or are you just completely filled with self-belief?
Well, it's not as simple as that, is it? Of course, I accept a deep and profound responsibility for what has happened, and anybody who's ever sent people into action, particularly when our troops are killed and doesn't feel the weight of that responsibility, is not a human being, and I am a human being. But I also say to you that we had an example when we didn't intervene in Bosnia. 250,000 people died. In the end, we had to intervene. And when we intervene, and I've done it 4 times now, in Kosovo, in Sierra Leone, in Afghanistan and Iraq, I think the question that also has to be asked is, supposing in this modern world where we are linked together, we don't intervene. That's why I'd favoured intervening in Darfur now. If we don't end up in a situation where we take action, then look at Rwanda, where how many? 2-3 million people died. And the fact is, Edward, in the end, when we do intervene and we give people a proper democratic process, please don't believe this, that the ordinary Arab doesn't want democracy or freedom you know, when we do. It's just rubbish. Of course they want it. Of course, what country has ever chosen not to be a democracy? It's just nonsense. It's what oppressive people do to justify their oppression. They say democracy and freedom are Western values. It's rubbish. They're the universal values of the human spirit, and there always will be.
Philosophically, of what you've just said goes back to your 1999 speech in Chicago.